Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
On this episode of Partnerships for Profit, we're joined by Leslie Bennett, co-founder of Digital Pulse Consulting. Leslie helps entrepreneurs and creative businesses turn endless scrolling into real sales by simplifying social media and fixing costly mistakes. She's all about the authentic connections that drive growth without the overwhelm. So get ready for a simple, powerful shift that makes social media less of a chore and more of a business engine. Leslie.
Dean, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, give me a quick little backstory. What was it that brought you into this line of work with social media and doing this kind of stuff to begin with?
Yeah, sure. So years ago, I was operations manager at a pathology lab, and I got into health and wellness and kind of joined network marketing and got into trying to share those products and the wellness and the things that I had learned from it online. But in doing that, I realized it's not quite as easy. Like, you can't just post and be like, look what I have, this is awesome, and, bring sales through the roof. It doesn't happen that way. Yeah. So started taking a really focused look at things, jumped into social media classes and courses, and continued to take those, throughout my years doing that. Ended up building a team. That's actually how I met my business partner, Chris. We actually met through network marketing. He ended up on the same team, and we ended up training a lot of people, and we learned a lot about social media and how to use it authentically and how to use it, to promote your business or to promote your products, but without being spammy and salesy.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people don't understand when they're doing that. Like, they want to post about they're just so excited and they just want to share it. But social media, people see a lot. You're not the only thing that people see every day. So you really have to kind of present it in a way where you're not like, hey, buy this. But you're also not being sneaky or, I don't know, kind of basically out to get a sale, know. And really what drives that is the purpose behind it. Like, are you trying to just get sales, or are you like, hey, this is fantastic, it's changed my life, I want to help other people as well? So that's how we got into it. And then he and I started chatting. We were chatting for years. We're like, we want to do our own thing. Like, we really want to start our own business. And we kicked around probably 5 or 6 different ideas of things that interested us and things where we really thought we could excel. But what we really, really know is social media. It's easy to us. Yeah. And even with all the crazy, algorithm changes and everything else that's out there, it is a big headache. There's a lot of details going on, but that's what we really wanted to focus on. So in September of 2023, after years and years, we've been doing this since 2018, but after years of it, we're like, you know what, let's just go for it. And we just started our own business, filed the LLC. It was absolutely terrifying, but that's kind of how we got into the social media side of it. We realized we liked helping brands and people share their story and build their dreams instead of us being more on the sales side.
I hear that.
I feel like that gave us both a unique kind of aspect to it, where our experience isn't only in social media, running the pages. Our experience is also from the business side. So we really understand where the business owners are coming from and the small brands are coming from, because we've been on that side as well. So we understand their frustrations, their pain points, and how hard it is to kind of keep social media running while you're doing your own business. So that's really how we got into it. And I wouldn't take it back for anything. It's crazy. It's a lot of work, but it's absolutely worth it.
Do you think you would have went down the focusing more on this authentic side of what you do had you not had your own business and had to deal with the pain points yourself?
Probably not as much, because that's where you really realize all the pain points. It's and when you're scrolling through social media from a consumer side, you can see it. And, now what we call content saturation is basically your feed is so full of content from absolutely everybody everywhere. And if people are super pushy, salesy, or fake, for a while, the whole fake thing was flying, and some people still do. To each their own. If it works for you, that's great. But what people are really connecting with now, it's a marketing trend called radical honesty. I don't know why it's radical. It should just be hey, we're being honest.
But you're right. you can kind of look back and see that flow, because even like a lot of the influencers, obviously, my wife does a lot of that well,
Mhm.
and it went from like, yeah, we have to make all these pretty photos polished and likable enough that people heart them, to
Yes.
no, I want to see you without the makeup on. Then you can show
Right.
me the cute things
Show
or
me
whatever it
the
is.
real. That because people they kind of got used to it and then they got over it. And they were just like, okay, I want to see the real. Like, people. I follow this guy on TikTok. He kind of laughs at the reality of being an influencer. But there are some out there who are like, oh my gosh, this drink is fantastic. And then the camera cuts and they're like, oh, that was disgusting. It's like, just be honest.
Yeah,
Build trust with your audience and your community. That's what people are looking for now.
I'm
So
pretty sure that guy, my wife shows me him often, because as you did it, I was like, oh, yeah, I know who you're talking
yeah.
about. Which is because she's always been like, you totally should have done this. You should be the guy making fun of these things. Um,
Right.
as you've kind of jumped into the different businesses, because obviously social media is one of those things, like, yes, there are kind of these overall rules, but
Mhm.
it's really about finding your version of what authentic is. How do you
Mhm.
find yourself helping people realize what it is they're doing and honing in on that piece for them?
Well, it depends on, their industry. It depends on their specific goals. So, for them specifically, say there's like, a small company that wants to grow and they have like a health and wellness product. We would say, hey, like dial in on how it's affected you, how it's changed your life, and how you use it every day. Don't
Yeah,
necessarily just post pictures, be like, I have this product, I have this product. Like people don't want to, like if they want to look at a shop of items, they will go to that page. Like if they're following you, they want to see that authentic side, which can be different for everyone. And that's where
yeah,
we try to tell people to what part of what we do when we start is we like to identify like what's your brand voice? Like how do you want to present yourself to the world? Who are you? Pretty much. Because a lot of people think that they have to be, super professional or super trendy or, follow all of the trendy items that are hot right now. But we really just encourage people to be authentic to themselves. If you're a little bit sarcastic, you can let that shine on social media. People like that.
yeah,
People like funny. So it really depends on we tailor it and customize it to each individual brand and who they are and what they're looking for. And sometimes they don't know yet.
yeah.
Sometimes they're
That's
like, I
fair.
don't know what my brand voice is, and that's okay. Like we'll help you find it.
Yeah,
And you play around with it. Social media is a lot of experimenting. Everybody is so worried about having everything be so perfect, but no one really wants perfect anymore because we're not. No one's perfect. So it's hard to connect with that and be like, oh, look at that person. She looks amazing all the time. Like,
yeah,
I don't when I get up. Like, so, if you see somebody who looks fantastic all the time, it's like, okay, like, where's the real side of you? Like, that's the polished side. So
yeah.
really just getting to know each individual brand and helping them discover like who they are and what message they want to deliver and the type of people they want to connect with. That really helps us, that guides us in tailoring like their strategy and their content calendar and things like that.
What do you think is like one of the largest mistakes people are making right now?
With social media, they think they
Yeah,
have to go
specifically
viral.
for kind of the biz. Oh, this. Go ahead. Say that again.
They think they have to go viral to be successful. That is
Fair.
like the biggest myth. And people chase down trends that don't necessarily align with their brand at all.
Yeah.
And, they'll either that or they just completely panic and they overthink everything and they process their post to death. We call it perfect post syndrome, where they literally will overthink every word and be like, I don't think we should use that word. Or like, let me tweak this graphic for the 10,029th time. And the thing is, social media is quick.
Yeah.
People are scrolling, like I said earlier, like you are not the only content people are seeing. So like they're going to scroll past your post. They're going to see it. They're going to register. They're either going to, share it, react, or scroll on, and they forget about it. They're not going to be like, I feel like the shade of that font could have been a little darker. Like they're not criticizing it as
Yeah.
much. People start to overthink and, then they end up getting paralyzed where they don't do anything at all. So the biggest thing that I've seen people do that's the worst is just, paralyzation and not following through on things or completely overthinking it to the point where they can't move.
They
I don't
don't
know if
post
you ever saw
anything.
How I Met Your Mother, but they get the yips.
Yep.
Yeah, they get the yips and they can't do anything.
So
It's bad.
in the prep for that, because a lot of people are right now going, oh, I do that. What do you find is the easiest way to help people move from that frozen section into just action? Keep it easy, keep it simple.
Yeah. A lot of times we'll have to kind of convince them to post something they're comfortable with. So it's like, okay, don't overthink it. Like,
So start
trust
here.
me.
Yeah.
Start here, just post. And, you know, a lot of people, you want to connect with, so we always tell clients as well, like people want to connect with a brand. They want to see a person or a face. Like they don't just want to see like faceless reels and behind the scenes. Like they want to know like who's behind this page, like who's behind this business. And for a lot of people, getting on camera, putting selfies on social media, or even talking on videos, like they're so nervous, or they try to think it through to the 10,000th degree where they're analyzing and taking, 5 days to make a video. And it's like, just post it. Just post it. I promise you, no one is analyzing it as hard as you are. And you're going to be surprised with the positive results. And the thing that's the most important in social media is consistency. Even if you're not perfect, just start. And I know that sounds like some cheesy old phrase, but it's so true. It's like, just start, just do it. Stay consistent, even if it's only like 2 times a week, So that we really have to push them. It's almost like you're a life coach. It's like, all right, you can do this. Like, and we've had, clients send us selfies. They're like, I don't know, what about this? It's like, yes, we'll help you pick out a picture. Like, trust me, it's going to be fine. And once
I always find it interesting when it comes to like this life coach idea of what people are doing, because I feel like everybody in almost any version of whatever business they're doing has to be I talk to a lot of lawyers, and I'm like, I mean, you guys are called counsel for a reason, right? Like we spend a lot of time counseling and talking through these things. And I feel like it's kind of the same thing, because what you're posting on your social media or your life, I guess, because most of us are trying to show a version of our authentic self through our social media. So a lot of it's being okay with who you are to begin with.
Yes. And that's the tough part, because, we're also critical of ourselves. So kind of putting yourself out there on social media can be tough for some people. But, the thing is, everybody wants, like, nobody is criticizing it as hard as you are. And that's what we really try to remind people of. It's like, honestly, you have a group of people who are going to cheer for you, who are going to connect with you. And, the thing about social media is if you put yourself out there, like, some people are not going to like you.
Right.
And that's okay. That's not your core audience. It's not your target demographic. Like, you don't want to bring in fake nonsense. Like, you just want to connect with the people that you actually connect with, because relationships are a big part of social media.
Yeah.
It used to just be like, oh, you could post this, you could post that. But obviously it's evolved over the years. Things have changed. Everybody's on social media now. And it's just become, in every industry really, is almost like a lifestyle influencer type industry now. Like, even if you see, like, we work with a lot of real estate agents, and just doing behind the scenes, like, you're going for an inspection today, put up a picture, like, oh, you put a sign, you made a closing, like, you're running contracts. There's so much that people don't know about, but you can post it on your page and bring people into the journey with you, so they can see what it's like and they can see the work you actually do. And it also gives people a little more credibility. When they're like, hey, this is what I'm working on today. This is what I'm doing. And people see you're putting in the work and everything that goes into it, like attending classes even. It shows that you're keeping up your education on your topic. Yeah. So, kind of sharing that is a big part of social media now, even for like real estate, churches, everything.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. And you kind of think about it in the way that, like, you never know when people are looking for exactly what you're doing. So if you didn't post that day and that happened to be the day they were looking for what you had,
right,
missed
your
opportunity.
Chance. Exactly. Just put it out there. In marketing, they have that rule of 7, which basically is like there has to be 7. Digital marketing, it can go up to 20 touch points, before people purchase, before they get comfortable enough. So, like, again, it goes back to just consistency and getting out there.
Yeah.
So, and putting it out there. Just do it and ignore it.
Yeah. People talk a lot about, like, obviously staying on brand. Where's that happy medium of, like, look, yes, stay on brand. But if you're doing something that's your page becomes, for instance, let's go in the real estate. If it's you and your whole page is about you, it just happens to be your business is also real estate. So you're staying within that brand most of the time, but you have something funny happen in your daily life that is entertaining. Is that on brand, or is that just a part of you because it's your brand?
I kind of think that's a good question. I feel like it all blurs together.
Yeah.
Because it is part of your brand. Like if you have funny things that happen, like we always encourage people share it.
Sure.
And, a lot of people, personal profiles get more views on Facebook than business pages. Mm-hmm. So, we do recommend if there's something people are doing on their own, like, yes, share it on your personal profile, like talk about your business and your day-to-day. But we typically give people an 80-20% rule for their personal profiles because, your business page is for all of your business stuff. That's where people can go. That's like the online hub. If they want to see what you do, what you offer, they can go over there to take a look. If they're following you because you're funny, they find your industry interesting, but they don't want to see only that every single day. They're going to get tired of it and snooze you. So you do like a little mix. We usually tell people for the personal profile, like 80-20, like 80% your life and everything you find amusing, and then 20% your business. Because like you said, if you don't post about it, nobody knows what you're doing. And
you mentioned the snooze button. How often do you have people start with you and before you've got to chat, they were like, "Oh, I posted like 5 things or 8 things yesterday." Okay.
We've had that happen. And, because we will monitor our clients' pages. So and we'll be like, hey, we noticed you posted like 5 times in a row. Like typically you want to give it a little time, like at least 90 minutes between posts to kind of let them breathe. Don't overstimulate your audience, because if they see all of your posts, they're eventually going to go, I'm sick of seeing this person, and they're going to snooze you, or your posts are going to compete with each other. So typically we'll keep an eye on our clients' pages and we'll be like, oh, hey, we see this, like, cool, but we would recommend. And that's the tough part too, is always coming in and being like, oh, hey, we see you like reshared, something back to your page. Like, and sometimes it's on accident. Sometimes they think it's helping their growth. But we always, like, even if it's difficult, we're always honest. And we always give our clients our full recommendations. If they don't want to take our advice, that's absolutely on them. But we feel like it's our duty to say, hey, listen, like, this is what we know. This is what we would recommend. You don't have to do it. But we're putting it out there, like, as people who have worked in this industry for a really long time, this is what we would suggest. And we have amazing clients who are like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I had no idea. Thank you. Because over the years, you learn all the little nuances of all of the platforms. Sure. So it just really turns into like a long, long list. And I'm sure everybody's seen like the Instagram people with like, oh, use this trending audio and do this and have a video for this many seconds. And like, yes, there's all these little tips and tricks, and I do post about them as well. But the thing to remember is like no one tip or trick is going to absolutely skyrocket you. Yeah. Most likely. I mean, it could, but for the most part, these are just little things to keep in mind. But it's also something that people can pick and choose. Like, you don't have to sit there every time you post and go like, okay, wait, here's my checklist. Like, oh, I need to do this audio, and it has to be this many views and this on this page at this time. Like, if you want to worry about every single detail behind the scenes, like, that's why you would hire us. Right. We worry about that when we're putting the post together. If you are running your page and you're just trying your best to get things out there, pick a few items and post. Like, just do it. That's the main thing.
Here's something you can touch on, because I'm sure you've had this happen where someone starts with you and their first week in, they're like, hey, Leslie, I'm losing a lot of followers.
We actually have not had that.
Oh, really? Good for you. Back to that whole, I posted too many thing. As soon as you went for this huge gap of like not doing anything, then all of a sudden you're starting to pop up on people's pages that don't remember who you were when they followed you the first time. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, I just lost. I lost again.
Social media is an up and down. But I mean, that can also happen because people will follow you. And if you're dead for a while and then you start posting and they're like, I've actually done that, where like pages that I followed have, been dead for a while, and then they pop up again. And it's something that I don't even think is funny. And I'm like, I didn't even know I was following them. Like, unfollow. And that happens. Like, the fluctuation is natural. You're going to get some, you're going to lose some. And that's really just weeding out the people that aren't going to be your target audience. Like,
changing the niche, things like that. It's gonna, it's gonna switch.
Yep, it definitely does. And you can lose followers if people close their accounts. If they're inactive for long. There's a lot of things that go into it, but it's just part of the game. Something we see a lot of brands do is they get very tied up in like what we call vanity metrics. So they are looking at like, oh my gosh, how many followers do I have? How many likes did that post get? Like, I paid you to put that post up. How many likes did it get? And it's like, that is called a vanity metric for a reason. Like, yes, it's nice to have, but there's so much more that goes into it on the back end. You know, if someone has 100,000 followers and they're getting 100 likes on each post, that's, if you do the math, it's not a good engagement percentage. You know, if you have 2,000 followers and you're getting 100 likes on every post, you have a much more engaged audience. There are very, very successful influencers and brands out there who don't have 1 trillion followers, and they have an engaged audience. They have a good relationship with their community, and they're very successful. You know, so that's a big mistake I see a lot of companies and people in general make, is like they just focus on that number. Like, oh, well, they have more followers than me. It's like, that's okay. You know, like,
who's making more sales? Who's got more people active on there?
Exactly. You know, and that's the big thing with viral videos too. Like, everybody wants to go viral, and it's like, yes, it can get hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views. But if it's not hitting the target audience, like, for example, if there was a group out there that did like a funny video for scuba gear, and their video went viral and I saw it and laughed, I have no interest in scuba diving ever. They're not getting a sale out of that.
Right. Yeah.
You know? So it's like,
thank you for the laugh. Appreciate it. Moving on.
Yes.
So you
like
talked
a funny
about
video, I'm not buying.
You mentioned the different social channels. Which ones do you find, and maybe this obviously depends on the brand that you're dealing with, but which ones do you usually lean heavier into than others?
It definitely depends on the brand and the target audience, because, you know, there's different ages on different platforms. Like, you know, older, sad to say, because I'm in that age bracket, millennials and elder millennials, Facebook.
Elder millennials.
I'm an elder millennial.
I've heard it called that. Let me move my gray down here.
It's like, wait a minute.
Elder millennial. Okay.
Yeah, that's not a fun.
When we get off, we'll have that company. Go ahead.
But depending on their target, the age of their target audience, you know, elder millennials and up are usually more prominent on Facebook, you know, Gen Z, Instagram, and then you have the younger kids, TikTok. Now, I've seen a lot of older businesses do well on TikTok, but it really just depends on what your niche is. You know, if you're doing a lot of really, I don't want to say boring educational stuff, but sometimes educational posts all the time can lose interest. You know, they can be boring. It depends on what their content is and what their industry and niche are to really determine. We do focus a lot on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You know, some LinkedIn, really, that's more for like, you know, the businesses and brand side, like the B2B and things like that. But that's another mistake we see a lot of people make, because they think like, oh, I have to be on every platform. Like, I have to be on Pinterest, and I have to be on Threads, and I have to be on Blue Sky. And it's like, no, you don't. Because what ends up happening is they wear themselves out, or, you know, they start making crappy content because they just want to get it on all these different platforms. And it's just get a few platforms that you know really well, you're comfortable with, test it out, run it for 6 months and see what happens.
What's a rule you could kind of give for B2B? What would be like a decent rule to kind of stick with when you're first kind of approaching your social media?
Definitely establishing your foundation, who you are, what you offer, what your services are, the type of help you can provide, and the people you help. You know, so really just making it crystal clear. I've seen a lot of businesses that have, you know, I could go through their page and I'm like, what do you do? I'm not quite sure what you're offering here. Like, and that's the main thing, is people are not going to take the time to try and figure it out. Like, if it's not crystal clear for them, they're going to go, I don't know what that is, and just scroll on. So basically establishing, you know, who they are, who they help, and what they do, and what you can contact them for is a really great place to start. And then sharing, you know, interesting news from their industry or niche that their audience would find valuable. That's the big thing, is not sharing what you want to share. It's like, okay, what is my target audience looking for? What are my customers looking for? What are their pain points? Because, you know, it goes back to marketing. Like, what's the problem? Present the problem and give them a solution. So it's really kind of the same thing now with social media. Finding
the problem and making sure you're offering the right answer.
Right. But like, oh, hey, I know you have this problem. Like, I have the solution. So it's a fun game.
touch on real quick, because I don't think people usually grasp this idea when it comes to social, but how important is it who you're interacting with on social media, and why is that important?
That's an interesting one because there are a lot of like myths floating around that you have to interact with, the same type of content that you present. That's not true. If my personal page, like I'm very, very bad with my personal and professional, my own social media. I'm really bad with it. Facebook, I post like a meme every day, but like my Instagram, personal and professional, I don't pay too much attention to it. I should, but I don't. So nobody look at mine. But
I practice. I just don't preach. I mean, I preach.
Exactly. It's like, I'm busy over here. I'm coaching. But
I'm helping you grow. God, get off my page.
Right. I actually forgot your question. What was it again?
What was my question? In the comments, if you guys could help us out there, what was my question? Yes, the idea of kind of interacting with people within your niche or who you're kind of showing up for.
Basically, businesses or brands, small business owners, whatever, should make sure that they interact with anyone who's commenting on their posts. I've actually seen a lot of industries do that where they don't answer questions. They don't reply to comments. They've got 500 unanswered messages in their inbox, and no one wants to even think about working with a brand or purchasing from someone who can't even be bothered to answer you.
Yeah.
So, but definitely like interacting just in general, and you can interact with, we do tell businesses, like if you're going to say sell couches, obviously you want to find the people online who are looking for furniture and looking for couches. So you would kind of search for posts with that in mind and start interacting with them.
Everybody doing Netflix and chill. Back to our target audience.
It's like, okay, fine.
Hotheads. Stays on the couch a lot.
Yeah, but interacting is a big part of it. Like just being active online. Because the thing is, like, if people don't know about your page, they're not going to your page. So now when you post, and we do talk a lot about making sure you work SEO keywords into your captions, especially now since Instagram searches do have the capability of showing up on Google. Instagram posts can show up on Google searches if your post is public, and if you have some good keywords and SEO keywords in your caption, it can show up in a Google search now. But people are only going to go to your page if they see your post or if they know who you are, or somebody recommends it. Like you want to get outside of that scope. So you want to get outside of like, okay, well, how are people going to find out about my page if they don't know who I am? So that's when you start going online, and we call it community engagement, which basically we go on as our clients and we'll interact and, engage with the community or with people that we think, might find the product or the industry or niche helpful. Because, you have to try to reach people. There's so many ads out there, and ads are a great way to run things, but you have to you can't just post and pray and that's it. There's so much more to like the back end of social media than that. So interaction is definitely important.
Yeah. And I would think that's also how you get that community to start sticking around and building is you have these conversations, you open up the conversation in the door.
Exactly. You're talking with them and they're understanding what you do, and they see like, oh, they actually are engaging with me. Like they answered my questions. It's really a big, like social media is not just post and buy my stuff. It's about relationships. Yeah. So that's the biggest part that we try to kind of bring everything back to in the end is like, you're building a relationship, like get to know these people. Like they're not just a sale.
Yeah.
And when businesses or people post like that, like, oh, this is a sale, like you can tell. So it's like, some people don't care, but some people do. So to me, and for a lot of people now online, they want that authenticity.
Yeah. So let me get one last one for you. So if, say my company does, say I do marketing for lawyers. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming my best bet is going to be predominantly on LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. And do you feel like it's like that's the place you need to be posting daily, or is this something that businesses aren't necessarily like a need to be doing daily kind of thing?
If you don't have anything to post daily that's actually going to add value, you don't need to post daily. Yeah. I mean, I actually follow some pages that post good content every day, but it's kind of repetitive. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, they post it again, like every single day. People get, I don't know, I'm going to make up my own term here. Content fatigue.
I like it.
Basically, it's just like, you can only see so much.
Yeah.
And, it's a very delicate balance, but we actually have seen some groups like think, oh my gosh, I need to post like more. And that's not necessarily the case. The most important thing is to be consistent, even if it's only like twice a week. Just be consistent. And then when you're posting, like it needs to add some sort of value, whether it's funny and people are getting a chuckle out of it and you're just being amusing for the day, or if you have something educational or of value to tell people like, oh, I have a sale, or like, hey, I just learned this today and this changed my life. Like it has to have value. So posting just over
content all the time.
Yes, definitely, for sure. Because what ends up happening is people tune you out, because then it looks more like homework. It's like, oh, well, we have to post today. Like, let's just put this up. And then there's no heart behind it. There's no purpose behind it. And it's like, ugh.
All right. Before I let you go, I'm going to give you some quick answers. Spit it out kind of deep.
All right. Oh, no.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Home it or Starbucks?
Oh, Starbucks.
Okay. Mountain or beach?
Mountain.
Okay. Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
Okay. And my last one will be, this might get people mad. Cat or dog?
Cat. I have a cat.
These are the questions that tell me the most about people. Are they a coffee drinker, tea drinker, cat, dog? These things tell me what I need to know.
It does. Did I pass the test?
Oh yeah, we're homies. We're good.
Oh, good.
You were approved already. It wasn't, it was more just a curiosity thing.
Oh, good.
Leslie, where's the best place everybody can find you?
Ooh, let's see. I'm everywhere. I'm like, oh, I'm everywhere. I am on Facebook, Leslie Bennett. I'm on Instagram. I'm also, you can just contact us through our website, digitalpulseconsulting.org. We have contact forms on there. But yeah, I'm Instagram, Leslie Social Strategist. I don't keep up with it much, but you can message me there as well.
We'll talk about that so we can get your social strategy together, okay? Great. Everybody else, thank y'all for hanging out. If you have any questions, comments, you want to share, all that good stuff, you can do it down below. Other than that, if you'd like to build out a podcast, you can also reach out to us. See you guys in the next one. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.